Finding scale. It's very important to know how to find scale. I'm going to show you how to find scale without actually using any cheating points, like, going online and looking that up, or the fact that there might be an example character already in here. Again, this is one of the things that I just like to show students. So in this case, I have this, okay, and I have this box, and I have a grid space. In order to, we have to learn how to build out a BSP, but first, how big are doorways? How big are your character? How big is everything? What I'm going to do is take this building brush and move it over here. And then what I want to do is make it smaller. I want it to roughly fit within one of these squares, or at least 4 of these squares. Right now the grid spacing is set to 64. Okay, so in this case I want to take this, move it here, and then lower the size down. Just like that. Now if I lower the size like this, you notice that the actual square isn't snapped to the grid until I get really close to it, and then it snaps. Alright, what I want to do is build this into a building additive brush. And then I want to play the level. Okay, it says lighting needs to be rebuilt. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to walk up to the brush and I'm going to say, wow, that's really close to my height. I can look at it and I can look at directly onto these. Also, look at the box itself. It's generally broken up into quadrants also. So look at the quadrants of the box correlating to the quadrants of the grid. If I did that and then upped it one more time, you'll understand that the quadrants of the actual cube now match the quadrants of the grid. That's not really important, but let's just say it helps. Now, let's go into geometry edit mode. Okay, here I can take this and now move it up. Let's move it up maybe 1. And you'll see the other box in the background. This is the actual brush. This is the brush. This is the additive brush that's in there. So in other words, this is just the building brush, and this is the actual geometry per se. So I can move that up and rebuild, and now jump back into there by right-clicking, play from here, and now I can be in it, and I can look at the box, and wow, now the box is just a little bit taller. Good. Perfect. So I'm going to say that is how tall the character is right there. So if you count up your units, okay, there's 32 units per area, and then times that by 5, that's how many units that you're dealing with right there. So 32 times 5 equals the character's height. Or if you're not good at math, just know that if you're on 32, 5 spaces up equals the height of the character in a doorway. Next, let's look at width. Okay, I'm going to handle width about the same way, but now that I've got this far, let's maybe make this brush. Okay, and then take this brush, go like this. So we're making a wall. And then we're going to take this brush right here and move it over. I go to camera view for this because if you do that, you're not accidentally moving the vertices. Okay. I like this. I like to have it equal spacing on both sides. So I'm going to go back, grab that. There we go. Now let's take this brush and make it into a subtractive brush. Okay, and then we'll rebuild geometry. Roughly so, I now have a doorway. Okay, let's play this. And let's see if we can walk through it. Very nice. Okay, so now we can do the math that a doorway, you know, it could be maybe a little bit narrower, but I wouldn't go too narrow because remember, in the heat of battle, you want to be able to run through this stupid thing, and you want to be able to jump per se, okay, and not with it hitting your head too much. So in this case, I'm going to say a doorway in 32 grid spacing equals 5 high and 4 wide. So that's how I find scale. Now, in the newest build at UDK, the reason I had to show you this is in the newest build, if you go to Content Browser and you grab a character, the character, if you type in male here, and go to this package browser, like that, you're going to find the Iron Guard male. You can click on him, and then you can right click on the floor and say add skeletal mesh Iron Guard male. And then if you put him in the doorway, you're going to find that the doorway is actually huge, correlating to the player size. So, you know, what they did, they shrunk him down just a little bit. I have no idea why, but other than that, that's how I never really relied on him too much anyway, because I knew the grid spacing, and that's how I went with things. So when that change occurred, I wasn't really, you know, awestruck and lost. I knew that 32 equals, you know, 5 high, 4 wide. All right, so that's how you find scale within an engine. I hope that helps you, and let's move on to the next video.